Welcome back to the Lead Lamp Podcast. This week, we're talking golf. So we have the Drive for Heartbeats Golf Scramble coming up May 22nd, 2026. I know it's cold outside, but we want to get on and talk about this because it benefits the Peyton Walker Foundation. So we have Nicole McCartan, the executive director of the Peyton Walker Foundation, Sarah Barr, owner of Conhouse Print and Marketing, and MaryAnne Reynolds, partner in marketing and culture at Gift CPAs. So thanks for coming on the show. Let's just talk about your upcoming golf scramble, the inspiration behind it, what sparked it, how you got involved with Peyton Walker Foundation, you know, how great they've been to work with so far. Just run us through the whole thing.
So MaryAnne and I have been friends for over 15 years. And we started, MaryAnne has golfed for years. I just started last year through the She Said Golf program, and we've had a lot of fun with it. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge community-oriented person. Back in 2022, I lost my brother to sudden cardiac arrest. And just talking with MaryAnne, I was like, we need to do something. There needs to be AEDs really publicly out there for anybody to have access to. And we really need to fill our local community parks. And so that's what really started the whole conversation. And then you chime in with just your experience with your background.
Yeah, so I actually took an AED CPR training through Peyton Walker, and I felt like that was super powerful. I never realized how impactful it was and what goes through that exactly. So I think it was like a 2 or 3 hour training, and I got to use the machinery and everything. And you know, there's an option for people to purchase the machine and to have it in their household and be able to help the community surrounding them even. If there's an emergency. So I thought that was pretty neat. And then when talking to Sarah about this opportunity to put this in a park, a local park, I just wanted to jump on that opportunity with her and try to raise these funds for that.
Did you guys pick a park for it yet, or is it just parks?
Well, parks in general, it's going to be dependent on how much money is raised through it. But we have different parks in mind. It will obviously depend on relationships already and what boroughs and townships, what they'll allow and who wants them. And obviously we're looking for areas that have a higher population of people visiting it and things like that. So we have some in mind, but we're looking a lot on the West Shore for this round, just because a lot of us live here, play here, work here. Yeah. And we just want to put them everywhere we can.
Nice. We're going to jump back and forth between the Peyton Walker Foundation and the golf tournament. So just hang on because we'll jump back and forth on this ride. But now when they're putting them in parks, we're talking about putting the AEDs into public places. Are these devices that, like, you know, I don't have any training. I see the thing. I know there's a medical emergency. Like, it's, I shouldn't say foolproof, but it's user-friendly enough where grandma knows there's a medical emergency because she's there with her kid, sees something happen. She can grab something in one of these public parks or a place and potentially save someone's life with that device.
Yep. So an AED, an automatic external defibrillator, will talk to you through the entire process of how to do it, where to place the pads, and how to deliver the shock. If you have a heart rhythm, it's not going to deliver a shock. So they're foolproof in that aspect. There's safety there. So like, you can't get them in the wrong hands, you know, in that aspect. And you really can't mess it up unless you take and do something obscene with it, you know, in that aspect. But you know, what's great is you initiate, we call push shock. So you call 911, you start hard and fast in the center of the chest compressions, and then hopefully locate an AED within minutes because it does take emergency support to get there timely. And 911 will walk you through the administrative process, even if you are, you know, nervous or stressed or anything like that. So even if that talking of that machine is freaking you out, 911 will walk you through it as well.
Gotcha.
So it's having that
dispatch
access.
is also trained on.
Correct. And they can walk you through the entire process of do it if you know, freeze or uncomfortable, things like that, because CPR is very scary. When you start to push on someone's chest, ribs are going to break, sounds are going to happen, smells are going to come, and you have to continue and you have to do it because their heart's not working. You have 20 minutes of oxygenated blood in your system, but you can't get that around unless someone is pumping your heart because that is the machine that does it. So
it's one of those things when you're like, oh, I could do that. And you see, like you see people training in it and you're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. But then to mentally put yourself in that, like I've never been in that situation, but like I've gone through CPR classes and trainings, to put yourself in a situation where like, no, this is like an actual person now. That's a completely different mindset. And it's just one of those things you don't know how you're going to react until you're in it. But so that walks you through it. Now I'm going to jump back over to this real quick. I had to ask about having them in parks because that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. So
they are user friendly and we're good there. But how did you guys decide to obviously use the Peyton Walker Foundation, but marry golf with this fundraising? Because I know you guys, you're usually always in the spring and summer. We see you guys out posting pictures on the golf course and having fun with different events. There's plenty of those events around here. But when did you guys decide to marry it with a golf scramble and the Peyton Walker Foundation?
Well, we both love golf. I mean, Sarah just said she just started golf and she's really into it now. And
it's an addiction.
I mean, we are not good.
You don't even have, I was gonna say, you don't have to be great. It's just
we are not
relaxing.
good. And we like to play the 9 holes. I mean, that's our sweet spot there. But, you know, in doing that, we decided to take advantage of that. And I've put together a handful of golf outings for other nonprofits. And so we decided to do that again and see what we can get out of it and hopefully get 1 or 2 AEDs out there. They cost about $10,000, I believe.
Well, give or take, depending on where they go. Because one thing, part of it is the AEDs can't be out in elements.
Right.
So if they get too hot or too cold, they're not going to work. So we have outdoor temperature-controlled boxes.
Okay.
So that's really more of the cost than the actual AED.
Right. It's different than just having them recessed in a wall somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so much more expensive, because the outdoor controlled boxes, temperature-controlled boxes, are going to keep that AED warm or cool depending on the season. So the AED will work. Because you can put an AED outside, but the problem with that is it's a little cold out there right now.
Well, you got batteries.
It's not going to work. The chances of it not working is a lot higher. It's not going to be rescue ready if it's cold or overheated. So
Gotcha.
Yep. So basically, with this golf outing, I mean, we decided not to just make it a fun scramble, but an exciting scramble.
Yeah, I always say it's always
experience,
all about the experience.
Okay.
People hear me say that all the time, but it's true. And the one thing that we noticed from being females is there's not as many females out on a golf course. And so we really want to encourage women to come out, and everything that we've planned, we're going to have a lot of fun things for the guys too. But we want women to know, like, this is going to be fun for them. And they're going to go home with a goodie bag of items that as a female, you're like, yes, I want this.
And you always have great giveaways or great goodie bags.
Oh, it's going to be
excited
good.
to see what you do.
Yeah, if you know Sarah,
she's like the queen of giveaways.
She
so
really
it's awesome.
Is, so
yeah,
she's not going to disappoint.
Yeah, it's going to be good. One thing I wanted to touch on really quick was when you were talking about the AEDs earlier and the whole discussion and what drove this. I've had a lot of conversations with people that are involved with local youth association sports. And
like your clubs,
yes,
club soccer,
your
all
midget
those things.
footballs, your lacrosse, baseball, different things like that. And a lot of them have portable AEDs, and that's great if the individual that has access to that machine is available, or somebody knows where the key is or whatever. The whole point of creating this was to put these machines in an area where anybody could have access to it that needs it. So if that person that has that portable one is off or on vacation or whatever, there's one still in that park where that soccer game or baseball, and you hear about it all the time on the news. You don't want to hear about it, but it's the reality.
Unfortunately, it's every summer, it's that hot week, and you always hear, unfortunately, of some sort of youth sports thing, and or anyone just outrunning, whatever, they're exercising in the heat or extreme cold this time of year. You know, it's even this time of year, extreme cold, you get a whole bunch of other cardio-related incidents too. So to have it accessible all year round, not waiting for, Mark down the road. Oh, he's got it for our club, but he's 10 minutes away. It's right there.
And it's the same thing. In a lot of these parks, there's neighborhoods surrounding it. We want the people in those neighborhoods to also know that it's, the longer response time it is for an ambulance to get somewhere. We want people to know if they can think quickly on their feet, hey, there's one, in the park, run over there and get it or whatever. That's really the driving force behind the Drive for Heartbeats Scramble.
Right. 10, 15 minutes might not seem like a long time when you're not in an emergency situation, but in an emergency, it's going to feel like hours until someone gets there. So it's good to have the community know that there's resources nearby.
I'd love to pull off a stat actually off of what you said, because the fact that kids with sudden cardiac arrest, you think that doesn't happen. It's the number one killer of student athletes. It is strongly, we lose kids every single day to a sudden cardiac arrest in the United States, several kids every single day. And so it's not this small occurrence, it's a large occurrence. And the only way to combat it is having an AED available and CPR and AED intervention right away. The call push shock aspect of calling 911, starting CPR, and having access to an AED. Unfortunately, here in Pennsylvania, we do not have laws that require AEDs. So we are not...
Even for schools?
No, there are no requirements in the state of Pennsylvania for AEDs.
Oh, wow.
We're working on it, but they're not there yet. So when you look at that, we're one of the last 4 states in the United States to not have laws when it comes to protecting our youth. I mean, there are states, if you just go right across Maryland, if you have a restaurant, if you have any occupancy of 50 or higher, you have to have an AED and a choking device. We don't have that here.
Wow.
So
I never knew that.
So if you go to, depending on where you go, you'll fly into some airports and you'll see AEDs everywhere, and then other airports, depending on the state and what they
might have none.
So we're lucky that
but they don't even know where it is. They have one, but they're like,
they don't know where it is in that aspect. So there's a lot of parts to that in the aspect of, AED intervention. Why even our program that you had mentioned, the 4-minute community where the AEDs are accessible, community members have signed up and AEDs connected to 911 in Cumberland or Dauphin County, and you can go and support your neighbor. If your neighbor goes into a cardiac arrest, your AED is alerted and you can go. You've been trained to administer CPR and to provide that shock. The reason that it's so important and why that program is called 4-minute community is the decline that happens after 4 minutes without restarting the heart. So in that aspect. And so that's really important. And I think that a lot of people aren't aware that it's so, and then they think back and they're like, oh, right. There was a kid when I was 16 that had a cardiac arrest. Oh, I remember this and that. There's a lot of people that have connections that don't even realize, or they've heard of someone or this or that, but they don't actually put it into a thought process of this is a problem in Pennsylvania and everywhere out there.
Right. It's not even a Pennsylvania problem. It's just the AED problem is a Pennsylvania problem, but the sudden cardiac arrest, like you said, for teenage student athletes, that's a worldwide problem. But it's something that can be not 100% stopped. There's some situations I'm sure that you're never going to stop 100% of them. But if you can prevent 25 or 30% or whatever that number is, that fraction of them that go up when you could administer an AED or help right away or within minutes, it's a huge improvement, I'm sure.
Right now, if you were to go into cardiac arrest, which is the electrical component of your heart, so it is now stopped, to restart your heart, if you do CPR and there's no AED present, survival rate is less than 10%. Right? There's the odds. But if there's an AED present, it goes up to 85 to 90% survival rate.
Which is why we need to get these in parks everywhere for everyone walking, kids playing sports, or just having a picnic in the afternoon or on the playground.
Yeah, it could be something as innocent as just walking your dog through the park.
Yeah.
What you would consider not a strenuous activity can sneak up on anyone at any time. Like no one's invisible. The most fit person to someone that's just getting out walking for the first time. Now let's switch over to we kind of jumped around and I apologize. Let's switch over to the core of the Peyton Walker Foundation. I know we've had some events where we've met them before and we've heard the story, but do you want to kind of share the quick elevator pitch story of the Peyton Walker Foundation, what you're doing in the area, obviously we know who you're helping, but it's not just teenagers, it's anyone that needs that risk or that help. So you just kind of walk us through that real quick.
So the Peyton Walker Foundation was started by our founder, Julie Walker, because of her loss. She lost her daughter, Peyton, to sudden cardiac arrest when she was 19 years old. And there was no AED present. They did start CPR, but unfortunately, Peyton is gone. And I can't even imagine as a mother, to lose a child. And she really took her pain and took it into purpose and said, okay, I'm going to prevent others from having empty chairs at the table. And we do that kind of very simple. Our pillars are checking hearts, protecting hearts, and saving lives. And how we do that is We do our heart screenings, which you do have a heart screening coming up, but I doubt it's before this time frame. You'll probably have to edit that. Sorry. We do heart screenings. We try to do 3 to 4 kids' heart screenings a year. And then we also do adult heart screenings now. So we're excited. We launched those last year. We're going to do 2 of those this year. And that's basically looking for undetectable things that normally in a regular physical is not going to connect, which a simple EKG can do a lot. But the standard in the United States is individuals before the age of 50 is very minimal that have an EKG unless something comes about or some kind of symptom or medical event. So it's really important to have that. And especially with kids, we were able to see and find every heart screening we've ever had, we've had findings. Every single one. And we are so lucky. We have such great success. We've had several kids that have had open heart surgeries, internal defibrillators, ablations, all kinds of things. And they come back and they support. So our heart screening coming up, well, we have like 6 of our teens that are going to be back visiting, and supporting, which is amazing. But the checking hearts is important. So,
and it's not that you're doing it to find all these problems. Like, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, people might be thinking, well, if there's that many people coming back with the results, it's not like you're doing it with the intent of set out and find these things because you're making money off of all these procedures. It's literally just like, hey, we should let you know. Here's what we saw. Like, here's some specialists you can work with. I'm sure you refer and you have resources, but like, it's not being done for a selfish reason. You're like, no, we just want to show you what's going on with your body.
Well, and the thing is certain conditions put you at an extremely higher rate of going into sudden cardiac arrest. So you might have to alter your activities. You might have to be on medication. There's several different things. So I do have interventions, but if you don't know, unfortunately, it's the silent killer, we'll call it, and that's why it is takes such a high percentage in youth as well as adults. Our Protecting Hearts is very much like this project here, getting AEDs out in the community. We help nonprofits get out AEDs. We have the 4-minute community program. So AEDs are definitely one of our pillars of intervention. But then CPR and AED training. We do tons and tons of CPR and AED training. We do community training. We do low cost training. We go into businesses and do training. We do demos all the time. We demoed like a little over 1 million last year in demos. Wow. So, I mean, think about all the different audiences in that realm, which ultimately save lives. And so checking hearts, protecting hearts, and saving lives is kind of just that core mission of what we're doing. And there's nothing like it, in that aspect when you save a life. And I will say, like I go back to one of the first individuals I talked to at the foundation. I got to talk to a grandmother who her granddaughter was 10 years old. Her name is Alicia. And she was 10 years old, and she was roller skating just up here in Nonola and went down in cardiac arrest. And they got the AED that we donated, and they got her heart restarted, and she was conscious and everything before EMS arrived. And she's had the medical intervention she's needed. And, she's blowing out candles now every year and has survived. And to me, Julie can't bring Peyton back, but she's giving a lot of families the opportunities to, have their loved ones through Peyton's legacy. So. Yeah.
Well, I will say, and everyone's probably seen the presentation that you guys have, and it's, if you're a parent, even if you're not a parent, I don't think I've watched that. I've seen it a couple times. I've not gone through that without like myself just tearing up, and I'm like, oh man, because I think about like my kids and just, it just rips. Every time I go through that, it rips me apart. And I'm thinking about it now. I can't, it hits you when you realize that, these aren't just kids that were sick or people that were sick or had anything that they knew about. It's just out of nowhere, it hits them. So it really does hit home. Now, the second thing I wanted to touch on was you talked about you have trainings every quarter. There's one coming up. This should be out in a couple weeks, but people can find them on the website for it, right? So if anyone is interested in either having a training at their workplace, or let's say it's a Boy Scout troop or whatever it is, like you guys have all the information to either go to an event, training, or have someone booked to come out for their organization, all on your website, right?
Yep. All the initiatives are there. Heart screening information, CPR and AED training. I strongly encourage everyone just to look at our CPR demo video. It shows you 3 different scenarios on how to administer AED and use CPR.
You never know. Yeah.
Just even watching that video, can prompt you to at least be prepared a little bit.
I should watch it though. I mean, I haven't gone through the formal training in a few years, but I know it changes in variations slightly every few years. So we should probably all refresh ourselves on that every year or two even.
Yeah,
But,
no, I definitely, and I go back to, you've had trainings, but then you went to training and, it made you feel more confident, right?
Yeah, it did. And actually, you think going through a 3-hour training, oh my gosh, it's going to be so boring. What's going to happen in 3 hours? Is it just all like instructional? But it is hands-on, of course. And the person, I forget his name.
Bill, probably my CPR Bill.
Trainer.
He's so great and interactive and funny, and he makes it, I hate to say fun, but I mean, he makes it so that you are paying attention and just
he has a
engaged.
way to captivate you.
Yes, engaged. And so the 3 hours was a breeze, and you did get to learn a lot, and you retained a lot too. So I absolutely encourage people to try
when it's definitely one of those things where, just because you did it once 4 years ago, you shouldn't think that like, oh yeah, I went through it, like I know what to do in the moment. It's like, it's hard to practice that in a real situation, and hopefully you never have to.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is something you probably should brush up on every year, 18 months. I don't know what your frequency is for it, but like if you don't, it's one of those things, if you don't practice it or keep it current, like it will get a little rusty and you might not be doing it the proper way, or something might have changed, or you're winging it because you kind of forgot what the steps were. So definitely something you should stay on top of.
Our golfers are even going to have a chance.
Okay.
One of the holes that's sponsored by a local business. I don't know if it's Bill or whoever will be there.
It'll be
To do a
Bill
training?
From the
myself,
hole, but
somebody.
they will be doing CPR and AED. I mean,
Okay.
obviously not a 3-hour training. We got to keep pace of play.
demo.
More the
Slow it
demo.
down too
Just
much.
a quick little demo though, because it's important, and that's why we're there to raise awareness.
You should have like a little drink station there. They can get a
Oh, don't
snack.
worry, drinks will be aplenty. So
Yeah.
we
Well, I'm
got that
thinking, you
covered.
get a snack. It's a nice break.
Yeah,
Come off the green for a little bit, get a demo, get back on.
yeah.
Now, I know you guys have a lot of fun things planned for the tournament, but do you want to give us kind of the rundown details on, when and where, how they can sign up, if you're having if you still have places or spots that are open for sponsorships, or any way anyone can get involved? Do you want to kind of run down through that and
Sure.
give us the details on the actual golf scramble?
Good.
So the tournament is going to be Friday, May 22nd. Yes, we know it's the start of Memorial Day weekend, but we don't care. It's in the morning, and we will get you wrapped up and out so you can head off for the rest of your weekend. It is at Dauphin Highlands. If you're a golfer, you know that the golf course is not going to be around much more than this year, so we're excited to be having it there. It's one of our favorite courses to play on, so we're excited about that. It will start, the shotgun I think is at 8:30, but you don't want to show up just in time for that because we will have putt for prizes going on, lots of great activities. We're going to have awesome breakfast, coffee, all kinds of stuff happening. We do have a website. It's www.driveforheartbeats.com. All the information is there. We have, for not really advertising this yet, we have several sponsors that have already committed, and I'm so grateful for that. It just goes to show the amazing businesses in this community and that they are really getting behind this very, very important initiative that will make a difference locally. I keep stressing locally because
Right.
this is where we live.
Yeah, this isn't, I'm not even going to say one of the big, like a larger nonprofit, but this isn't like, big name, large national nonprofit. This is something that's rooted right here in Central PA, and the results will actually be visible
Yes.
somewhere in Central
Right here.
PA.
Yeah. So we're thankful for the sponsorships. We still have sponsorships available. The one thing I guess I want to note is I own a printing company. Marketing is very important to me. I'm a business owner, so I understand when people come to me for these type of asks. Like, we will have that covered. If you sponsor it, your name will be very recognized in multiple ways as much as we can. Signage will be on point because that's just
yeah.
what I do.
I can't tell you how many golf tournaments we've been to, even myself just attending them, and you're like, what do they print? Like, so, and I don't print. We go to you for our print, but there is a pickiness involved when you've seen that, good print or good marketing, and you see no offense to any of the golf tournaments, but we won't name any in particular, but every now and then you run into one where you're like, ugh.
Yeah. That definitely.
So I'm sure you'll have that all
That definitely will
locked
not
down.
be an issue. Yeah. So if people want to sponsor, we will definitely work with you. If you see something on the website and you're like, you know what, we would love to sponsor, but in this capacity or whatever, reach out. We'll be
or if
happy
we have
to do
ideas,
that.
if someone has ideas to add to it, I'm sure you're not opposed to.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
Hey, I can help with
We would
X,
love
Y, and
to.
Z.
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page, create an actual event page created for it, and we are active on there as well. We'll be posting all kinds of fun things leading up to it. We're working on really good. It's, as we said earlier, it's about the experience. So we will have great golfer bags for the people that want to golf. But there's a lot of different ways. So you can sign up to sponsor. You can sign up to golf. This will sell out. We have talked to so many people already, and they have said, "Oh, I'm trying to put my foursome team together." That's great. Put your foursome together, but in the meantime, snag your foursome.
Yeah,
spot.
register for this.
We'll figure out your names later. Let's just get you, because it will sell out. And I'm telling you, I don't want to be biased, but it's going to be a good day out on the golf course. So
Yeah.
you definitely want to make sure you get
It's a
registered.
good time of year. It's going to be
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then will you have Peyton Walker Foundation at the tournament as well? Obviously you'll have the training on the one hole, but
Yes.
there'll be resources available there.
Yes. Julie will be there, I think.
Julie will be there.
She'll be there to kick everybody off before they send them off for the day. And then do you want to tell them about some of the experiences we have kind of planned already?
Yeah,
Just
so
like-
Putt for Prizes is a big experience, and Lead Lamp Media, you guys are our
Woo, woo.
sponsor.
I think
so
we were,
thank you very
as
much.
soon as we saw that
you
pop up,
guys-
Karen and I were like, we got to enter something. We got to put something
You were our
together on
first
it.
sponsor, so thank you
All
guys
right.
so much for that.
Everyone else is still great sponsors though.
Yes.
That's a fun one because we'll have some great prizes out there, and then golfers will be able to putt. They'll have two golf balls, and they'll have two chances to putt for
Okay.
the prize. So that's always a fun one. And prizes will come from people in the community.
Nice.
So we'll be out there looking for people to donate prizes for that. And we have some really fun prizes that are ideas that we'll ask the community to provide.
Cool.
So that is one. There is, like I said, drinks aplenty.
Yeah.
Thanks to Signature Staffing.
Yes, thanks to Signature Staffing. Exactly.
Signature
For the-
Sip.
For the Signature Sip
Okay.
station.
If you know Philly Steak and Hoagie,
Yep.
Dave is the man. Love Dave. He is going to be out on a hole, hopefully, if it all works out, making cheesesteaks
Oh, nice.
for golfers as they go. So that'll be a nice little treat from just the typical hot dog you're
Yeah.
used to. We have all kinds of other snacks that are going to be planned, but good snacks. Hopefully some tacos. We're working on all kinds of good stuff. So
I'm just going to come for food.
yeah.
We also are
I'll
going to
just walk around and get the food.
We're also going to do something called a ball drop. I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like this,
I
but
have.
before the golf tournament, we are going to be asking people to purchase a golf ball. And for every golf ball that you purchase, you'll essentially get a ticket with a number on it. And all these golf balls will be put in a truck or something. We haven't decided what yet at the tournament. And at the end of the tournament, all the balls will be numbered and they'll be dumped out at a hole. And then whatever ball is closest to that hole wins some money. And it's
Okay.
going to be a pretty decent amount of money too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a pretty fun visual.
It's kind of like a
event experience.
50-50 raffle.
And that's a
but
great
with
way for the people
different-
that don't golf. Like, you don't have to be at the golf tournament in order to participate.
Okay.
So you can buy the tickets in advance when those go live.
Someone
We'll-
could say, hey, I want to purchase 25 tickets or
Yep.
balls to be
Right.
dropped. And
Yep.
then they don't even have to be there, but they can support
Exactly.
the foundation.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it's a little fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, something different.
Kind of, end it.
And then we'll have other experiences out on the holes as well. But of course, we keep stressing it's going to be a fun day, but we also are going to keep up with pace of play.
Yeah.
So for everyone that's a serious golfer too, we will make sure that we are keeping up with the game so that they can get out of there
Okay.
on time and kick off their weekend.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see it all come together. And
Yeah.
I know you guys do awesome with everything else you do. So I'm sure the golf scramble will be no different.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. We're going to put links to all of the signups, all of the different things, social media, whatever, anything you guys have that you post, we will put in the show description. And then we'll also put in all the information from the Peyton Walker Foundation in the bottom. So if anyone else is interested in not just the scramble, but trying to find out a way to support or get involved with the Peyton Walker Foundation or have them come out to your organization or workplace for any kind of trainings or information, we'll throw all that in the show description as well. Just because I feel like this isn't like you guys are selling a widget or you have a business that you're talking about. Like some of our guests, and they're all, everyone's great. Sarah was a guest on our show about her story with the print side, but this is such a community involved event and initiative that I want to make sure we have all the links to everything that you guys have so anyone can access it.
And I appreciate that. And I love that you say community, because this is community. So this is a local nonprofit doing work in the community with local community members supporting and saving lives of our community members.
Right.
Because these AEDs save our neighbors' lives. Just last week, we had an AED that was donated to a nonprofit that saved a gentleman's life. Wow. Just last week. I mean, that's what I get to hear about, in that aspect. So, anything I do the rest of this year can't trump he's alive.
Right. The thing that's crazy to me when I hear, I've heard that now twice today, and then every time I'm around the Peyton Walker Foundation, you hear about just a story of like, oh yeah, this organization put this up, and then like literally within a year or within a short period of time, someone had to utilize this. And it blows my mind that it's so common, but until you really kind of pull back the covers and look to have something like that added, or you start to hear about people who had those things, you really don't notice it happening around you. But it's so cool though when you tell me stories, or you tell anyone at any of the events stories of like, oh yeah, we had one installed at a park, or we had one installed at a church, and then 6 months later they actually had a member of their church that needed it and it saved their life. Just because it's kind of like one of those things, like, don't get offended by this, but it's like buying car insurance where you're like, I don't want to pay for car insurance. Like AEDs in a lot of situations are an expensive piece of equipment to get in an organization. Obviously there's efforts and organizations that help you get them, but once you have one, you're happy to have it when you need it. So it's like one of those things that's kind of a passive thing in a building or at a place until you're like in the moment where you need that. Now it's an active thing to save someone's life, but it's one of those ones where it's like, it's great to have, but you don't ever want to wish you had it there.
Yeah. And that's why I said doing this golf tournament, I pray that these are never needed. But I want to know that we did our part to put them in places so God forbid they are needed.
The best news is that you have one and no one ever uses it. Like that's the best scenario. But we know that's just not reality.
Well, just like a fire extinguisher. We all have them, right?
So true, yeah.
And we don't want to ever have to use them.
No,
well, you should be checking it.
Whole different story.
It's a whole different story. But same aspect with the AED. Fire extinguisher is going to put a fire out, which is life-saving in itself. And you think about it, anywhere you go, I mean, it's even a requirement, in that aspect to have it. But AEDs are not yet.
But still,
so
it blows my mind they're not required.
It's such a gift to the community in that aspect. And I mean, can we just recognize these two amazing humans in our community saying, okay, I'm going to take an abundance amount of my time and energy to make sure that our community is protected. And they're going to come over and support, the local nonprofit that's doing the work, boots on the ground, in that aspect. So, and I mean, just as much as Julie took her pain and put it into purpose, you're taking your pain and purpose, and with your brothers, you have a personal impact there.
I was just thinking as we were sitting here, growing up, my dad always had heart issues. And when I was in high school, I remember he had a defibrillator and a pacemaker installed in him. And I actually got to see it go off. Like, it was terrifying to witness, but I was like, thank goodness that was in him, and was there to do its job. Most people don't have that built inside of them. No,
not until after they've had a medical issue.
Yeah. So I was always around a defibrillator. Like, I understood them, but from the portable aspect, and then just seeing them in the parks, like I said, we need to do our part as best as we can to get them out there, and then make people aware that it's there. That's the second part of it after they get installed.
This is like, I'm going down a rabbit trail, but like, if you have them in a park in whatever, Hampton Park or whatever, is there an indicator or like a light, or what are they?
So there's one in Adams Ricky now. And so they have signage throughout. Same thing like City Island. If you go on City Island, there's signage throughout City Island that tells you where it's at. You also, when you call 911, they know
where they're located.
So, in that aspect. So that helps too.
Got it. I didn't know if they had them, like sometimes when you go on a campus, a college or like a big health campus or whatever, they'll have like those blue lights on like the pole right above a phone or a defibrillator. So I didn't know if that was the kind of like outdoor unit you have for something like this, or how that worked. So there's either signage or some kind of indicators plus
and
first responder knowledge of where they're at.
And they're pretty, noticeable too,
Okay.
In that aspect. So they're big white boxes with red lettering or red boxes with white lettering.
Gotcha.
So you're aware, okay, that's an AED. The national standard is that red and white, coloring to jump out and be like, okay, that's emergency.
I love that though. So if I'm at a park and someone's having that happen and I call 911, they should on the phone be able to say, hey, you're at a park. There's an AED located. Can you get someone to get to it?
Yep. We register it with them.
That's wonderful.
Do you do that for when they're put into like any building?
No, unfortunately, there's not a national
places.
registry in that aspect. There is some like programs out there, but we don't have them. Lancaster does have an app program in that aspect, but nothing right here.
Gotcha.
Right now, but
That'd be amazing if they knew.
Well, don't they have GPSs on them or something?
well, the ones that are Avive are. So the
Yes,
Avive
I knew-
AEDs are
I remember
GPS
that.
So you can
located.
locate them.
You can locate them.
Those are for the 4-minute.
That's for the 4-minute community. But a lot of parks choose those over regular AEDs because if the off chance someone decided to steal it, guess what?
They can find it.
They can find it because
It's like having
GPS.
an air tag hidden on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like in there.
Yeah.
But there really is no black market for AEDs. You can't do anything with it. If you're not dead, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
So, and
There's no resale value on an AED.
There's no resale value in an AED. So there's no copper in there, like there's no.
So I can't sell it on Marketplace.
You're not going to get very far, and a lot of people don't even see the value of having one in their home because that's one thing that our AED instructor will always say. And if you have the money, you have money left over in your HSA, buy an AED for your home.
Your HSA can pay for it?
Oh yes, your HSA dollars can pay for it.
I did not know.
Yes.
And is it something where are there smaller or like refurb, more affordable versions for a home? Or I don't know how that works.
So there, honestly, national standard, no. One day I hope that we get there. Fire extinguishers back 50 years ago were really expensive, but now that they're mass produced, they're not that expensive.
They're disposable, basically. Yeah.
So I'm hoping one day AEDs get there.
Okay.
Probably going to be 50 years. I wish it was more, 10 years.
Every year technology gets a little faster. So
in that
you
realm.
never know.
But we do our best. So we work with a lot of the manufacturers. I would call us experts in this field at this point. We spend tons of time. We go out to the manufacturers. We spend a lot of time making deals and trying to get the best deals. So we do have low cost AEDs available so we can get them lower cost than just you going and buying one because we buy 20 or 50 at a time.
Right.
But then also, and we're not taking commission or anything. We sell,
it's just
what we
straight
get.
pass through,
It's passed through in that aspect. But then we also, there are organizations that will call us and be like, hey, we're getting new AEDs. We're sending our 10 AEDs. There's nothing wrong with them, but they need new batteries and pads. So we have them checked out, put the batteries and pads in them. And
like
we sell
recertify, basically.
for $500, and those are like our low cost AEDs. And so if you have a child that has a condition, or if you're a small business, we strongly encourage you to reach out to us anytime and see if we have anything around the $500 mark. So,
nice.
And that's just because the battery and pads are $500. So it's not like we're making any money.
You're putting parts into it. You're just getting your money back from your parts.
Yeah. And that is always our goal because an AED is never going to do anything on a shelf in our office. An AED, getting AEDs, we know that's, looking even at the survival rate, 10% with CPR, 85, 90% with an AED. You just can't, that's where the intervention is going to happen. We can't stop sudden cardiac arrest from happening. They've been researching cardiac arrest for a long time. There's leaders in hearts that have been researching for 100 years. They are not able to stop them. They've done research. They know some of the genetic components to it, but then sometimes there's no, there's no understanding of why the electrical part of your heart stops. So
it's kind of like an alternator or a battery in a car. Like it could work well. It could work great for a decade. A car's lifespan is much different in them, but you could have the whole car's life, never have to replace an alternator, but it might last a year and then have an issue with it. So it's probably just like that with your electrical and nervous system in your heart. Like it could be flawless for decades, and then all of a sudden you have an issue out of nowhere.
Or you could be a 12-year-old and have an issue out of nowhere. Like there's no, unfortunately, industry standard of understanding. So with that being said, the only intervention that we know that works is call push shock. Call 911, start hard and fast on that chest, and have an
You're
AED.
not in the game to prevent the event.
Yeah.
But you're in the game to make sure that all the resources are available there to keep that person as well off and with as many tools as possible to keep them alive or to revive them as fast as possible.
And you hit the nail on the hammer there, revive them. Because a lot of people don't realize when a cardiac arrest happens, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the chance to bring you back in that really small time frame.
It's a very small window.
Yeah. So, and so do not be afraid. Start pushing hard and fast in the middle of that chest. Give them a chance.
You really have to push hard too.
Yes.
Because we use these dummies and they
mannequins.
It is a
dummies.
workout. It's a workout.
They have this little
indicator.
Indicator, and you have to push so hard until the indicator goes all the way up to a thing. And if you don't, you're not pushing hard enough, and you're just like, oh.
Yes, we were shocked last year when we did it as a team.
Yeah,
we could not believe. And then to be
sweating.
told you how to do it for like minutes or what, like
yeah.
And
I've done
sweating.
CPR.
Like, take me out.
I will tell you, it is exhausting.
It is.
Physically
I can't even
exhausting.
imagine.
And it feels like it's an hour, even if it's 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just not an easy aspect. And that's actually why we won't use any form of other product except what you guys utilize. We use full torsos, so you're getting the real pressure. Because if you are trained on, some people train on, I don't know, balls or all kinds of other, like lower quality equipment. And you'll never see us do that, because the fact that it's so important to train and for you to understand the actual pressure you have to push is so important that we're really adamant about training. And even our AEDs, it's an actual AED. It's not a kind of cardboard thing or anything like that. It's like
the real thing.
We really want you to understand how to utilize it, because when you're practicing and you're learning that pressure, you will remember that versus when, if you're just, pushing on something to learn, in that realm. So it's
and
really
you have
important.
female and male.
Oh, yes. And we're going to tell them, yes, babies
Babies.
are important because they're a little bit different. And then we do have anatomically correct, because women are less likely. You're sitting with a room where all 3 of us are less likely to receive CPR. You will receive CPR before the 3 of us will, because people are uncomfortable taking bare skin of women and starting to push on a woman because it's our chest. And so the national standard, unfortunately, there's so many statistics out there that we are less likely to receive CPR as a woman versus a man. The
just because of that fear of
touching, being, seen uncomfortably, and then 2, having to remove
in that
the
moment
bra
though,
and
you
shirt.
kind of have to throw all that out the window and just be like,
Yes.
this
Like,
person's dying.
Yeah, I got to do
You're
something.
saving
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those situations where in the moment people panic. There's a lot going on emotionally for the people who are there to help. So it's hard to say what you would do, but I can see how that would be just a moment of a fear in a way.
Well, and females, and then young females. And so one of the things that we do with coaches and things is we teach emergency response plans. So what does that look like? Who's going to get the AED? Who starts CPR? How do you circle around them and just turn your back so they can work to give the privacy and that aspect? I mean, we do a lot of aspects of what emergency response plan looks like, supporting from A to Z on, where is the AED located, where they need to be, how you're supposed to interact, how you're supposed to clear the room, whatever it might be for that scenario, that field or that school or whatnot. We do a lot of training in that realm. So, and we have it on our website too. So there's steps on our website. Even if you're okay, we're not going to meet with the Peyton Walker Foundation, you can go to our website and then
you can at least learn from you guys.
And learn from it.
Yeah.
I just have to say, we are so blessed to have such a wonderful foundation in our area, because what you guys do is truly saving lives. And like you said earlier with Julie, using her pain and turning it into purpose, the 4-minute community, people are not even aware, but we are the second.
Well, we are the first in the United States to have 2 communities in a state. So, but they're starting to really build up now. So, but we're the second in the United States to bring out a 4-minute community and then continue on.
The second in the country to bring that. We get to right here in Central PA.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer when we were planning the golf tournament that we wanted it to go to them, because every dollar is going back in this community, and that's where it needs to go.
Yeah, it's a huge impact just within a 30 or 40 minute circle of our area, which is awesome.
There's a lot of people here too.
Yeah,
there is a lot.
It's not slowing down.
No.
Yeah.
We are growing, aren't we?
Yeah. But then that just adds to the prevalence of incidents like this. Like the more people, you're going to have more problems, more health issues, and just increases the importance of this type of this type of action that needs to be done in this area, just to make people aware of that. So no, I really appreciate you guys telling that story. And this was, it's just such an impactful thing that no one thinks, just like your founder, like no one thinks it's going to happen to them or even thinks about it. Like it's just not a thought in your mind until that hits. Yeah. So
whether Heart Month is coming up, so
it is.
Hope that the golf tournament will be completely sold out in Heart Month, right? I think that with National Heart Month, I hope that more people take time to go, okay, wow, okay.
You could do some fun promos coming up for the tournament with Heart Month.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, we do have our title sponsor still available. On that one, you actually get to have your company name or whatever name you want on the actual AED.
Oh, wow.
That's going to go in the first park from our tournament.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Talk about promoting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll stay around forever.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool sponsorship.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that one. But So all the information is for the tournament, for Peyton Walker Foundation, it's all in the show notes. We're going to probably put a bunch on our social media too. Not that you guys aren't asking for that, but we love working with you. We've are very, very supportive of the Peyton Walker Foundation. We love everything that you guys are doing in our central PA region. So we'll probably share a bunch as well on the tournament just because, we're involved with it as well.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Thank you guys.